All right, so while you're getting logged in there, just listen carefully here. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow is we're going to go into the lab, and you guys are going to follow the procedure that I've written up for you, which is basically going to involve mixing different pairs of materials. Okay, we're going to produce certain kinds of reactions. What we're going to be looking for are basically the signs of a chemical reaction. Did a reaction occur when I mixed these two things together? What were the signs that I observed during that mixing? Okay, or with that pair of materials, what did I observe? All right, so we're going to be basically looking at recording that kind of stuff. Is, did I see the, which signs of a chemical reaction did I see? Did it change color? Did I get it precipitate? Did it get warmer? Did it bubble and fizz? Okay, whatever. Okay, those are all signs of a chemical reaction. Those are things that we need to be watching for. All right, so the problem we're investigating here is when substances are mixed, their chemical properties, not their physical properties, determine whether a reaction will occur. What evidence do we have that a reaction takes place when substances are mixed? Okay, so each time we have a new mixture, what's going to be different? Right. Okay, each time we do a reaction, we're going to have different what? No, that'll be the end result. We're going to have different, what do we call the things on the left-hand side of a reaction? The different reactants. Okay, each time we have a combination here, we're going to have different reactants. Okay, hopefully, as a result of having different reactants, we will also get different products. Okay, now I'm not outlining, I'm kind of giving this stuff away here, but I'm not identifying variables per se. Okay, but I'm sort of doing it. Right, I'm weaning you off of telling you the answers a little bit. All right. Every time we do a pair, every time we mix a pair together, okay, what things should stay the same? Okay, so roughly amounts. We can try for that, although we're not really comparing anything that amounts would be important for. Okay, but what you need to think about are what are some things that could affect whether a reaction occurs or not, or how fast it occurs. Those are the kinds of things that would need to be controlled, okay, between each of the trials. Okay, hypothesis. What three words need to be in there? If, and then. Okay, so in the if part, we've got to talk about the premise that we're working on. The and part describes our experiment. The then part, here's our findings. Okay, in the if part of your hypothesis, you should talk about what happens in a chemical reaction. I'm thinking here mostly about Dalton's atomic theory, point number 3. Okay, in a chemical reaction, he says, in a chemical reaction, substances or atoms are separated, joined, or rearranged. That pretty much covers all the reaction types that we've gone over. Okay, separated would be decomp, joined would be synthesis, rearranged could be the two replacements, and combustion. All right, that's what happens in a chemical reaction. That's something that should get worked into /B, the if part of your hypothesis. Okay, the and part, what are we doing in this experiment? Okay, well, looks like we're mixing different pairs of things to see if something happens. Don't write it like that. Be a little more technical than that. Okay? How am I going to know a reaction occurs? That's what goes in the then part. Okay? What are some signs of a chemical reaction? Okay? So if this is what goes on in a reaction and I mix things together, then this is what's going to happen. This is what I'll see when a reaction occurs. Something like that. That's what's got to go in there. All right, for the initiating and planning parts, okay, basically you're going to be filling in this chart here. All right, so this is your initiating and planning. Okay, identify what kind of reaction is going on based on the reactants and predict the products. You do not have to predict the products for 4 and 5 as I've already done those. Okay. Yes, if you open up the Google Doc, not the PDF. If you opened the PDF, you had what I was just showing you a minute ago. Okay, same as always, open up the Google Doc. That's your report template that looks just like this one. Okay, it's down there under your work. Okay, the PDF was under instructions, this under your work. Okay, so what I need to see basically for tomorrow, guys, is done up to here. Okay, so problem, Restated in your own words in the form of a question. Variables, identified and explained. Hypothesis, predict these. Fill in this chart. All right? The rest of it we can't do until we have actual data. Right? So there's going to be 7 different pairs of things that we're going to mix together tomorrow. Sodium hydroxide and ammonium chloride. Okay? Acetic acid, okay, or hydrogen acetate, okay, and sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydroxide and magnesium chloride. Sodium hydroxide and phenolphthalein. That's what this big long thing is. Phenolphthalein, if you watch CSI, is the thing that they use to test for blood. Okay? They take the cotton swab, rub it on something, put a drop of that, turns pink. That's phenolphthalein. Okay? Phenolphthalein is how you test for blood based on pH only. Right? It's an indicator. It changes color based on the pH of whatever substance it touches. Okay? Blood has a certain pH that is slightly basic. Okay, and it changes the color of phenolphthalein from clear to pink. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. Okay, and then in our next reaction in pair 5, we're actually going to take what we made in pair 4 and add some acetic acid to it and see what happens. All right, so hopefully we'll get a color change and a color change, hopefully. All right, number 6, we're going to add potassium iodide to lead 2 nitrate. Right, and in the last one, we're going to put hydrochloric acid on a chunk of zinc, okay, and see what happens with that. Okay. Now, you do need to make sure you dress appropriately for a lab tomorrow. Okay, I mix all of my solutions uber strength. Okay, if you get them on you, that outfit will be ruined. Okay, if it's an acid, because I made them super strong. Okay. So you do need to be mindful of that. Okay, maybe wear the lab apron. Make sure that your feet are covered. Do not wear any open-topped shoes tomorrow. Make sure you have a hair tie. Hair and hydrochloric acid do not get along. Okay, hair shrivels right up into these horrible little frayed end curls. Okay, that look awful when it contacts hydrochloric acid. So be ready for tomorrow.